Welcome to the Master Your Breath podcast. My name is Tom Richter, and today I talk with Pepi Hubzin. He's also from Zagreb. He's a DJ and music enthusiast, a passionate winemaker, a dedicated yoga practitioner, and a great friend. Since I have known him, he's always been busy with multiple projects, something that I really admired from the first moment I met him. And in this conversation, he shares how his constant busyness didn't always feel as easy as it seemed from the outside. And he talks about the physical, mental, and emotional struggles that he was going through. We also discuss his journey of discovering breathwork and how he learned to use his breath to feel better in his daily life, feel better in his body, sleep better, recover faster, accomplish more, but with less effort, and be more present and ultimately enjoying each moment again. This is the first of a couple of conversations that I had with people that went through the Master Your Breath program. And if you're curious about this, or if you want to know how breathwork can help you feel better in daily life, feel free to reach out to me through Instagram, Tom Richter Yoga, through Facebook, through my group, Empower Yourself, through Breathwork, or just via email. And I look forward to having a short call with you to guide you through your first steps of how breathwork can help you in your individual particular situation. But now let's listen to our conversation with Pepi. The internet connection was sometimes a little wobbly, so forgive me for sometimes losing the connection, but the conversation is still very inspiring and worth a listen. So, enjoy. Hello, Pepi, and welcome to our little talk today. I'm really glad to have you here with us and that we can talk a little bit about your experience with breathing and how it supported you with all the projects you have going on in your life, which I invite you to mention a couple of things now. It still impresses me how many projects you have side by side. So please, can you introduce yourself shortly?
Hello, Tom. Thanks for having me in this session or in this interview. I'm my nickname. I'm a father of an 18-year-old girl, primarily. Then I run a vineyard. I make bubbles, sparkling wine. I have one. I've studied German language literature and into programming and into German literature, but that's not my primary work. I work in the music industry as a radio host on Yamat FM. I promote a lot of programs and curate them for clubs, every branch. Somewhere I have to keep my focus. So my multitasking is maybe a thing which I shall reduce and in which the breathwork helps me a lot. Yes, I live in Zagreb for the last 15 years. I was born in Germany, where I grew up, and I went to primary school and later on to high school or gymnasium. And then I started to study in Croatia, and my goal was to study here for, maybe 3-4 years and then go back. But actually that never happened. So, yes, I'm here in Zagreb. For now, I've discovered later on, as I grew up in Germany, I did a lot of judo, and then I stopped when I came to Croatia. So only later on, before COVID hit, I discovered actually Ashtanga yoga, and later on I met you through my first teacher, Diana, and yes, that's actually my path in, let's say, in a small introduction of myself.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I remember I did this little breathing masterclass at Diana's place back then, and you were there, and uh, afterwards we hung out a little bit, and over some tea, and you had some questions, and we tested our Bolt score, like how long can we pause the breath after an exhalation. And then I remember how that led to the next call where you said, I'm really interested in this whole breathing journey, and also shared a little more about your life, just like you just did now. Can maybe you
That
can
was actually the turning point where, yeah, that was the point where my life discovered actually breath work, because my life was let's say a relentless cycle of physical and emotional exhaustion. Um, Physically, I was constantly running on fumes, battling perpetual fatigue, frequent tension headaches, shallow breathing, which I must underline. And I had also persistent digestive issues. My sleep was incredibly erratic because I was involved into the nightlife. So I'd often wake up feeling more tired than when I went to bed. And it was a kind of, let's say, chronic knot of tensions in my shoulders and jaw. And I was perpetually bracing myself for something. So I was actually emotionally in a kind of overwhelming stress and anxiety, because that was also a time, 2015. I had a divorce. There were some life-changing moments in my path or lifeline, and my mind was a constant chatterbox of racing thoughts, chronic worry. I wouldn't say moments of panic, but moments of anxiety, and I felt easily overwhelmed. And often I had a profound, let's say, sense of sadness and disconnection. Although I was always connected with people and always between people and surrounded with people, so maybe people would get the wrong picture. Um, in this whole music world and nightlife, you're constantly exposed. You're under lights. You have to deliver. You have to play. And on the other hand, you have this loneliness actually, and this difficulty to manage all these emotions. So yeah, my mindset and daily experience were dominated by self-talk, some positive self-talk, of course, but also some negative. And you're always looking for this perfectionism and self-doubt. So I was always actually in a hurry, and I never felt I was getting anywhere. Let's say that this way. So my daily life felt more like a checklist of obligations than a journey to be enjoyed. So it, it's sometimes hard to describe, because people get maybe the other picture. They see you, but they don't know what you feel. So I feel sometimes so drained and actually disconnected. So it was this challenge given by my professional life as a promoter, curator, professional DJ. My nights were often consumed by events, leaving little room for a regular rhythm or true rest on top of that. And as I said, I own a vineyard, which involves a huge commitment to winemaking. I was also juggling the responsibilities of being a father, an entertainer, and then, of course, an entrepreneur, making both sparkling wine and CBD oil, all while working as a management consultant for quality management systems in Germany, which I did also. And these were all. It felt like there are too many tasks, and it was a overwhelming number of let's say responsibilities that constantly pulled me in different directions. I sometimes didn't know where I am, where I wake up, what is going on. So it was an intense lifestyle, which affected, of course, also my relationship, work, and overall well-being. So the turning point actually came after, I would say, after a particularly stressful day that involved juggling the vineyard tasks, consulting deadlines, and a late night music event. So I didn't just broke down. I just felt it's wrong. It's wrong, and it was a moment of stark clarity, actually, where I realized I couldn't continue living like this. So that's when I said to myself, enough is enough, and somehow the universe crossed also then our paths, and something has to change. So it has to start with me. So this pivotal moment, I would say, I was starting to explore, and it was actually before COVID hit. I had just begun practicing Ashtanga yoga, and I thought that I was already a little bit back then again into spirituality. So I felt, I felt drawn to a deeper practice that could offer true solace. So I discovered then the Master Your Breath class actually with you. So that's when I met you through Diana, who was a student of you. So this is when our paths actually crossed, and I was willing to try something else. So despite my existing spiritual leanings, I this breath works before practicing, and somehow when I came back to Croatia, I lost my connection to this. Let's say, I mean, it is a kind of spirituality for me, also a breath work, because this gap between in between breathing in and breathing out, this is actually for me the moment of now, and where you can experience that's what I also experienced during your course, which was incredibly surprising for me, because in the very first session, I was honestly taken back in time a little bit when we did it. So because my breath was incredibly shallow, and a clear indicator of my constant state of attention. So but then as we continue with guidance, I started to feel subtle shifts and warmth spreading through my body, and most strikingly quietness in my mind that I hadn't experienced in years. So it was both challenging, and it required me to confront my own internal resistance and lifestyle, and it had a gentle impact which grew from session to session more and more. So during the course, there were definitely challenges internally. I experienced resistance. My mind would often wander, and uncomfortable emotions would sometimes surface. There were moments of impatience and self-judgment, and if I couldn't get a technique immediately, especially, let's say, pre-Nauli or something like this, externally, simply finding the dedicated time, my demanding schedule was a hurdle, and occasionally I felt physically discomfort, and it didn't went from the first go as I would imagine. You know, it's not like from the books, but you were such a great instructor, and you created a safe and supportive space to make this going on and to process all of it. So
well, let me ask you a question there now. So when the course started, I mean, I think the first 1 or 2 weeks I really just focus a lot on just repeating myself, saying just find those 5 minutes every day. Maybe it's 10 minutes for you, but just start doing something for those 5 minutes. And was that possible for you? Did you need those 2 weeks to kind of find a way, or?
It was actually good that you repeated yourself all the time, and you actually gave us also a schedule. What me helped a lot was all these breaths next during the day, and to remind myself to just do it, and to switch off the monkey mind. You have to have those 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15. So once it started, I noticed the significant changes in my body. My energy levels were slowly increased. My sleep dramatically improved. I was waking up with a familiar knot. I was not waking up with this familiar knot of, let's say, anxiety, getting your mobile phone first, looking at all the tasks you have during the day, but to keep the focus on myself. So I took all this time, especially later on when you gave us the structured type of scheme for your dosha with all these exercises we went through the whole course. That's actually where I started to feel more grounded, and I had a clearer thinking and improved focus and less negative self-talk. So I've found myself, let's say, responding to stressful situations with more calm. I first took a breath in when I was confronted also with something difficult. It can be right before a performance, right before let's say an interview, right before a business talk, whatever it would be. I would make my breath work, and it helped really a lot, and I became much stronger, and my awareness also deepened. So I gained heightened self-awareness and understanding my emotional triggers. We had some exercises also with you where we went through all these triggers, and so it actually it was. I found a profound sense of inner peace through the breath work, I would say.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of this and for being so open.
Yeah, I mean, also in combination with Ashtanga yoga and the breath work together, where really improved my life. So for me now, less is more. I canceled a lot of tasks which were unnecessary. I found myself in situations where you do something because you have to earn money, and later on you realize that if you haven't do nothing, you would still have the same amount because you spend a lot for other tasks for other business models which you have to roll up, and in the end it's the same amount. So for me, time has now more value than money, especially time for practicing. And you conquer the whole world to find something, and in the end you find it in yourself. So through breath work, this is it took some time to realize that. So since completing the course, my life has transformed in ways I couldn't have imagined before. Physically, I feel lighter, more vibrant, and constantly energetic. I wake up early when the sun rises. I try to go to sleep when the sun goes down. My sleep is deep and restorative now, and I had chronic aches and pains that plagued me are also almost gone. I have a little bit still of knee problems, but this is maybe also because of surgery or because I couldn't switch in the head, So I don't know. So emotionally, I'm also no longer hijacked by anxiety. I've now possess a powerful tool set to navigate through challenges with grace and some kinds of easiness. So there's a much greater sense of joy, deeper empathy, and
Wow.
less reactivity to, I would say, daily stressors. So yes,
Wow.
spiritually, I feel profoundly connected to myself and the world around me with a clear sense of purpose. And I can see that also through music. I get a lot of more gigs. I get a lot of more inquiries. I'm in a position to choose now. So for me, less is more. I choose something, uh, then I get out of this one more than I would get for 5 or 6 gigs. So
Yeah.
the approach to daily life, stress, relationship, and health challenges has fundamentally shifted. So that's also why I sent you a short message to thank you for that, because uh, you were also one of the factors who showed me the way to go and how important breath work is. I see people around me every day. They breathe. I would immediately go. I have the intention to go to them and tell them, please don't breathe through your nose. Don't breathe so shallow. It will help you. But the understanding for it, I think they have to go through all these challenges to make it work. It's not just a saying. You have to do it, and you have to take those 15, 20, 30, it's only 15, 20, 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So I do it now in the morning, and I do it in the evening. So I'm actually yeah, I'm more present in my daily life, and I enjoy more the moment of now, and I appreciate small moments rather than the
Yeah.
constantly rushing. So
Yeah.
my
And
relationships, I would also say, are deeper now, especially the relationship with my daughter, with Ivana, with all my friends. Maybe there are less friends now. Maybe they are not only friends you can count on your fingers, but those friends, the connections got deeper. I don't talk that much anymore. I listen very well.
mm,
I don't interrupt, and I trust my body's healing capacity, and
mm-hmm.
I proactively engage in this self-care. So for me now, I would say I pushed myself to be the number one. So it's not just a saying. When you start loving yourself, you can start love others around you, and then
Mm-hmm.
those others will also love you. So it's it was a long path to actually get there to truly understand how it works. So I believe breath work is so powerful because it's a direct, immediate, and always accessible pathway to our nervous
Yeah.
system and to our emotions and to our deepest self, uh, which you learned us actually through your course, because you gave
Yeah.
us so much
Thank you.
also examples and how everything is connected to breath, how our body is a really perfectly functioning machine. If you can work on that, and if you take responsibility, you can
Mm-hmm.
release stored trauma, you can calm your nervous system, you can create an immediate sense of inner peace with breath work, especially
Mm-hmm.
before moments that could hit and make you anxiety or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's an always available tool that empowers you to regulate your own state and access profound inner resources. So I think that, and it's our responsibility to use that tools,
Yeah.
and for our well-being, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's for me truly. It was a life-changing experience. It was a small course. It lasted for, I don't know, half a year. But
10
later on,
weeks.
you
10
get
weeks. Yeah.
when you start to do those exercises. Yeah, when you start to do those exercises in the morning, um, you walk easier through your daily life, And I can guarantee that for everyone who is listening right now to this session, it really works.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of this. And just to reflect a little bit on what you were saying, and you shared a lot. So let me jump a little bit and summarize. But first of all, I find it interesting because if I reflect back on when we met, you seemed like this like strong, tall guy that like you seemed calm. You seemed kind of in control. You seemed to kind of hold a nice space. You seemed very like nice to be around. And I would have never guessed the all the things that were going on within you, with the struggles and the tightness in time and the pain and not sleeping well. And then also just getting to know that you are the DJ, and then seeing that you have the concerts and the events, and then you are at the vineyard. From outside, it looks so perfect and so, oh my God, this guy has it together, and like I want to be like that, right? So we really have a hard time seeing all the struggle that everybody is going through, and probably it's really everybody around us that we think has it all together, but actually we are all struggling in certain ways, and especially those emotional things like anxiety or not sleeping well or this sense of constantly having to function is something that we don't even notice anymore because it's everybody. And then that you kind of committed to the course, but then also I thought it's actually amazing with all these things going on that if you can find the time to do the 5-minute practice and the the breath snacks in between, then who else can can have an excuse if you with all these projects can get it done. So thank you for sharing that. And how like was there?
I mean, it was difficult. I've never talked to someone that kind of openly like with you, because a lot of people get this picture, but it's not everything. You don't walk on sunny hills and the sun is shining always and life is good. These were I've just shared the deeper side of it, because this is how I sometimes really feel. You are exposed to this bunch of people and everyone has this picture of you, but still there is this kind of sadness, loneliness, and it's hard actually to share because it doesn't look like that. And then someone will say, "Wow, come on, everyone would change the life role with you. Everyone would say immediately, yes, I want to live like that." Yeah, but it's not like that. So that's why I shared this, because I think it can help a lot of people to take responsibility for their own well-being through this practice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's really not, if you have time every day for all these other stuff you're doing, and which takes time, and it's nonsense. Watching TV, sitting in a cafe alone and watching people, talking about others. Take care of yourself. Take those 15-20 minutes in the morning and start your day with breathing, and finish your day with breathing. And switch off your mobile phone, go away from all these distractions, and you will jump out of, I would say, this matrix we are constantly in, and all these belief systems we are constantly in a loop in. You will only find the escape through breathwork.
Very inspiring what you're saying, and especially also because, yeah, I mean, yeah. Tell me.
No. I just want people to realize that through breathwork, you can live more in the moment of now.
Yeah. And I mean, you have done yoga before, so yoga takes nice care of the body, and the meditation happens when you can be in the moment, and the breath work is somewhat what connects everything, right? It connects the fascial work, it connects the physical effort, it connects the meditative aspect from each of these practices, but then also brings it into the daily life, because like you said, you can sit in a cafe and just watch people or look at your phone, or you can do the same thing while you're breathing in a way that you know is good for you. And like you said, that was the other thing that I wanted to reflect on, because I love that you mentioned that so many of us say, well, I don't have any extra time and I need to do more and more and more, because otherwise, if I'm not constantly hyperactive, all the pieces are falling apart, or my life is falling apart, or I'm not earning enough money or whatever. And I think your example was very nice, because when you stop pushing too much and allow receiving to happen, or allow kind of life to serve you, I always kind of connected to the exhalation, right? We are very good in inhaling, in doing, in making more and doing more. But then if we actually allow the exhalation to happen, that's the moment when life serves you, and where effortless abundance comes to you, and where the projects just get offered to you instead of you having to push for every project and such things.
I mean, that's what I also learned through, because I always had the imagination that oxygen is like this life-changing, empowering thing our body needs, which actually, if there's too much oxygen, you go into hyperventilation. But the importance of CO2.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also read this book from Nestor. There was also a changing moment. Actually, you pointed me this book out when you had the first session at the end. It was, I think, 2020, only 5 years ago or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And there was also one saying of you I will remember, as we get older, it's the asanas aren't that much important then as the breath work is, as the pranayama is. So this always rings, in my mind. So it is really important. And I think when you start, I'm not always also regular. If I have a long night, I can't wake up in time in the morning. It's actually, for me, the breath work is the most powerful in the morning hours, for me especially, and also with all these breath snacks throughout the day. So yes, it has really, I realized that it has really a power to heal, to find joy, and to truly master your own internal experience, regardless of external demands.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, I mean, when we are somewhat in control of our own experience and how we create our everyday life and every moment in our life, then we control everything, and the rest we can surrender to, because we know good things are coming towards us.
Yes.
This trust element. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. This was really inspiring, and a wonderful story of kind of, really
thanks for having me,
profound element of your life.
Thanks for having me, and I hope this will help some other people also who can identify with all these internal struggles, which look sometimes on the outside totally different. There's always a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
So I hope it will help them to truly understand how they feel, and that they realize and start believing that the breathwork is really so powerful.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much. I think breathwork is such a subtle thing that it's easy to overlook. So it's really important to hear these stories where there's actually profound change possible just through a connection to how we let the breath
because
in.
it can heal. It's really the pathway to our nervous system and to our emotions and to our deepest self.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's lived experience. So thank you again for sharing that. Have a wonderful weekend and summer ahead, and I look forward to maybe trying your wine and listening to your music.
See you
again.
on one of your master classes.
Yes, thank you. I look forward to seeing you there. So thanks again for being here, and talk soon.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.